All right, I'm about to tell you exactly what I ate during the 3 years of being vegetarian and the 2 years of being vegan. I'm going to tell you why I stopped and exactly what I eat now. 3 years that I was vegetarian and then the following 2 years that I was vegan, why I stopped, and what I eat now. I made a video called Why I Stopped Being Vegan, and it has over 40,000 views and a whole bunch of comments. A lot of them positive and a lot of them so negative that I literally feel like I need to hide my unborn child because of some of the threats that I received. And well, while there were a lot of comments, there were also a lot of questions. The main question that came out was asking me what I ate while I was a vegan, because most people say that I did it wrong, right? That's the main vegan complaint about people who have gone non-vegan, saying, well, you probably just did it wrong. So a little bit of background. I am a major in psychology, sociology. I have my degrees in naturopathic practitionership. I studied Eastern medicine, metaphysics. I'm a yin yoga instructor. And most of all, I just know my stuff in nutrition. I went to nutrition school for several years. I've been working with clients for the past 11 years, and I have a body in which I'm very in tune with, and I've experimented through all of the diets. So when I started off as a vegetarian, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just not eating meat. But then I started to learn, okay, well, now I need to integrate all of the components and the nutrients and the minerals that I may be missing due to not getting it from animal sources. So over the 5 years in total of not eating animal products, the last 3 years, I really did it to a T by the book. So as a vegan, I was eating mostly vegetables, lots of fruits, sprouted grains, sprouted nuts and seeds like almonds and hemp and chia and flax, sunflower seeds as well, some Brazil nuts. I was eating completely gluten-free as well, so I was vegan and gluten-free. I was not eating soy, and if I was, it was once in a while organic, non-GMO tempeh, which is the fermented version. I was getting lots of fermented foods like your miso and my sauerkraut, my pickled vegetables, lots of pickled beets. I was juicing, lots of green juices, eating my microgreens. I was having some pseudo grains like quinoa, a lot of seeds like buckwheat. What else? Good quality fats, my coconut, got my avocado in there. You know, I was really eating well. And yes, as a vegan, I was supplementing. I was taking my B12, I was taking my B complex, getting my vitamin D, making sure I had my CalMag. I was taking adaptogenic mushrooms. You know, I was really doing all of the things. I was also exercising well, getting out into nature, and really living it by the book. Now, the reason I became vegan is because I watched all of the documentaries and I thought that it was truly better for my health. I really believed everything that they said, that it was the healthiest way to live. And I said, okay, great. I also heard that it was better for the environment. It was more sustainable. It was more ethical, right? So I believed all of these things, which felt really true to me. And I care about the planet, and I care about animals, and I care about my health. And so I figured, okay, this is what makes the most sense. And so over the entire 5 years of not eating animals, it was not the easiest thing for me. Like, my body still craved animal proteins. Like, I would smell meat and my body would want it. I would think about it sometimes, but you know, I really decided that I was going to be vegan, and I was. And so I even went to Italy, I went to Spain, I went all over Europe, and I didn't eat any of the food there because I was gluten-free and vegan. My Italian partner is shameful of that, but it's the truth. So what I noticed was that I went through an extremely intense health crisis where every single system in my body started to shut down. So first it was my endocrine system, my hormones. I stopped getting my menstrual cycle, right? And I lost my menstrual cycle for 7 years. I also developed a thyroid issue. So I became hypothyroid, and it was crossing into the line of an autoimmune condition where my thyroid was attacking its own tissues. And then I started to lose all digestive ability, where I was gassy, I was bloated. I was eating beans as well on the vegan diet because, I mean, without beans and legumes, it's a little bit hard. So I was gassy, I was bloated, I was having indigestion, I was always just feeling like uncomfortable in my stomach. Then I started to have panic attacks. My mood was off in my blood results, my platelets were low, my hormones were kind of all over the place. I was showing that I was anemic even though I was taking supplements. And so I kept seeing different practitioners, especially in Ayurvedic medicine or naturopathic medicine, and even my doctor and my family, they all said the same thing. They're like, Sam, you need to integrate meat into your diet. And for about 2 years, I just would not listen to anyone, but I got so sick that I was at the point of collapse that I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. Now, I also am O negative blood type, and my ancestors are all from Europe, which tends to be more traditionally geared towards eating meat. And as I integrated animal proteins again back into my diet, first I started with eggs, and then I moved to salmon, and then I started to integrate a little bit of red meat. And my body felt amazing. I noticed that my digestion was better. I noticed that my mood was more stabilized. I noticed that I had way more energy. My hair started to grow back because it was falling out. My nails got longer and stronger, and I just felt good. And it was challenging because I still had this shame and this guilt because of all of the conditioning and the programming that I believed was truly the best way to be. And it was hard because I felt like, oh my God, I'm now breaking out of this identity I created for myself as being plant-based, right? I even had a blog originally with all of these plant-based recipes and vegan recipes. And I really get it with all of the people that are so conditioned and hating on me, because I was one of those people. I was so righteous in my belief, thinking that I knew best. This was better than anything else. And I was in the condemning of other people for their beliefs because I was so conditioned, right, to believe that it's only this way. And it took me going through my own health crisis and experimentation to see what was right for me. And then over the past 11 years working as a health practitioner, I've worked with thousands of people. And many of those people have also came to me and said, the vegan diet doesn't work for me. I feel like I'm lacking something. My body works better with meat. And I'm not saying that this is everyone. I do have people I've worked with, and I do have people in my community who are vegan, and it works amazing for them. And that's wonderful. And this is my point, is that it's bioindividual. We are all unique snowflakes. We all have genetic imprinting that is unique to us. We have ancestry. We have just different coding, right, in our beings that respond to different things. And so it's so easy to get into the shame cycle or get into the conditioning of the socialization that what I believe is better or more right than what you believe. But that cycle of condemnation and shame, it's not really beneficial, it's not effective, and it's very narrow-minded. And so as I started to notice this and break out of my own limiting beliefs and patterns and recognize, wow, okay, this is better for me, I just allowed myself the compassion and the understanding, and I started to do even more research into the philosophy of the paleo diet and Paleolithic living, into how our ancestors would eat, into the spiritual practice behind consuming animals. And my great-grandfather on my father's side is Native American. And so I went to the reserves and I asked them about the spiritual practice, and I really spoke with shamans and intuitive psychics and medical practitioners, and I really did the research and seeing all of the lies and the mistruths in the nutrition industry around diet, and especially around plant-based nutrition. And with all that being said, it has now been 3 years that I've integrated animal proteins again into my diet. I feel so much better. All of my blood results are way better. My thyroid condition is healed. I've regained my period again. So it's been 3 years now that I've had my menstrual cycle. And yeah, I just feel great, and I really feel in alignment with my decision, knowing that I eat organic, I eat sustainable, I eat from my local farmers, I eat in a quantity that feels really right for me. I do not waste any animal proteins. I do not throw out food. I bless my food. I receive it with gratitude, with appreciation, and with a recognition that an animal did give its life, and that I integrate that life into my being, and I live with it in its energetics. And so I do see the spiritual practice of that, and I am extremely grateful for that. And I do believe in evolution and the natural food chain. So that being said, what I eat now is still pretty much 90% plant-based and 10% animal proteins. Some eggs, some organic unripened cheese, some yogurt once in a while if I want to. If I want to have a piece of cheesecake, I do. And good quality meats that I, again, take in with a blessing. And, you know, I feel really good with that. And so the reason why I made these videos is just to end the shame cycle and to end the narrow-minded binary thinking when it comes to nutrition, and to truly invite you to get in touch with what's right with you and recognize that that's what's right with you now. That might change. There is fluidity, and what's right for you might not be right for somebody else. And so rather than condemning and oppressing and trying to squish everybody into the same mold through guilt, shame, and oppression, really being more open-minded, respecting your own boundaries and your own choices, and allowing others to respect theirs and to tune into theirs. So I would love to know what your experience is, what your diet is, what your nutrition is, what your questions are. This platform for me is really about having a conversation and about sharing my stories and adding value and contributing to the conversation. And so I would love for you to leave your comments, to leave your questions, to like this, to subscribe, to ding that bell, to share, whatever you got to do. Show some love. I love you. I appreciate you. Mwah! And we'll talk soon.